Hello everyone, welcome back to another episode of r/slash Tales from Tech Support. In today's episode, I can't reset my password. Literally. Theory on executives' computers. Tech support equals emotional support. Before we get started, make sure to subscribe so you will never miss a video. So let's get started. I can't reset my password. Literally. As an independent consultant, I see all kinds of tech support issues. But the best stories never seem to come from my regular clients. Instead, they almost always come from contract gigs I used to fill in some of the slow times. Here is a quick story about one such incident. Scene: I am on a 3-month contract, essentially on call as overflow phone support. It was an easy gig. I just sat at home, and when the call center got too busy, they would start switching over tickets to some of us remote guys. All I had to do was be available between certain hours, and have a quick turnaround on the first touch. This was in the beginning days of the pandemic when everyone had just started working from home. Most of my tickets were easy, such as VPN connection issues, or provide quick tutorials on video conferencing solutions. I was happy to be at home, and have work that would keep me there for a little bit as the entire world went to hell in a handbasket. Ticket password reset. The call center must have been getting slammed early on this particular day, because I woke up and immediately had a ticket. That almost never happens. However, no big deal. Just log on, check the status, do a quick update, and contact the user. I will call him Jim. He picks right up. IT guy: me, hello, I see you have a problem resetting your password to access the network via the VPN. Jim: yeah, I have tried the reset password features about a dozen times now, and every stupid time it just errors out. IT guy: okay, let me check a few things. I browse his user profile, and everything looks okay. He is not suspended or locked out. Figuring that he must just be typing the wrong password over and over again, I do reset his password in the admin portal to start troubleshooting. IT guy: okay, I reset your password on the network. Try to log in but use the password XXXXXXXX. Jim: gotcha, just a sec, great, that worked. IT guy: maybe you were just typing the wrong password over and over again, sometimes it happens. Jim: okay, now I need to sign out and reset my password though. IT guy: do you mean you want to set it to something other than the one I just gave you? Jim: yeah, the one you gave me isn't my password. IT guy: a little confused. Well, I reset your password to that, but I can set it so next time you log in you can set your password to whatever you like. Jim: yeah, I need to change it back to my password so everything works. IT guy: still confused. Everything should work if you use that password, but if you want to change it, that is not a problem. Jim: look, I told you that is not my password. I need to set it back to my password. IT guy, confused, but giving in at this point. Okay, I've set your user profile, so the next time you log in it will prompt you to input a new password. Do you want to try while I am on the phone? Jim: yeah, let me give it a try. I wait about 90 seconds hearing Jim pounding away on his keyboard, cursing. Finally, frustrated, he gets back on the line. Jim: see, now it won't take my password. What the hell is going on here? IT guy: let me reset your password back to XXXXXXXXX and try it again. It works with the same result, so clearly Jim must not be entering the password confirmation correctly. Jim: but I still need to change the password back to my password. IT guy: okay, let me set it so you can reset the password at your next login once again. If it doesn't work, can you send me a screenshot of the error? Jim: yeah, no problem. Let me try this all again. Another 90 seconds pass with Jim cussing in the background. Jim: this asterisk bleeping asterisk thing simply will not let me reset my password. IT guy: Jim, send me a picture of the error please, if you can, through your phone or another device. After stumbling around for about 10 minutes, he finally gets around to a picture of the screen to me via his iPad. The error says password is not valid, enter new password. Now I understand what Jim is doing wrong. The error for this credential management system, when a password conflicts with the security policy, will generate an error of password that was attempted to be entered, is not valid, enter new password. So if your attempted reset was dollhouse 123, and that violated the password policy, the error would say dollhouse 123 is not a valid password. Here all this time Jim was trying to type in his password as the word password, which created the confusing error message. I explained that password was not a valid password under the new security policies to Jim, who objected at first because he was also under the false impression that only his username and that password would give him access to all of his files. So I also had to explain the concept of how a network user profile also works to Jim, in addition to reminding him of the new policy. Total call time 139 minutes. Good thing I was getting paid by the hour. Theory on executives' computers. My office keep getting these calls from a certain customer of ours. No troubleshooting done at all, just says it's an executive's system and needs repaired. Caller: I have an issue with this laptop. Me: okay, what's the issue? Caller: I don't know, can we just get someone down, it's an exec's computer? Me: well, I can't really just send someone down without knowing what the issue is. Can you just tell me what's happening? It's BSOD, which may just need updated, but asked to further troubleshoot to make sure it isn't hardware. Caller: listen, I don't have time to test this, can we just get it fixed, it's an exec's computer. I get his account ID and find service history on multiple systems, and it's a mess. Everyone who has had him on call has the same story, it's an exec's computer, doesn't explain issue, doesn't want to diagnose, never gets fixed on original visit, or case just drags on for days. So I decided to have some fun. Me: so I've looked at your history and found every system has an exec user. Caller: oh, you really? Me: yeah, actually have a theory on that. Caller: oh, you do? Me: yes, so you know when new computers get ordered and they distribute them to staff and they test them out now and again, you get duds. I think staff just swap them out if they don't work straight away, and by time execs get them they already have issues. Is that what they do in your office? Caller: you're not sending anyone, are you? Me: nope. Informed my boss, who said this guy's account was already flagged by our escalations team. He laughed about my theory but told me to never do it again. Tech support equals emotional support. This is a story from a few years back when I worked tech support. It was in a legislative building in which nearly every one of the people we helped, especially the secretaries, believed they were head chief of the planet, and one of them calls for help. He had lost what was essentially everything he'd set up for the next legislative session on accident, and didn't notice until when that session started, so 6-ish months of normal computer use between these points. He was very respectful and nice about it, didn't blame us for his actions in a surprising twist of the norm, and was extremely cooperative in trying to solve the problem. I did the usual checks. It was a flat dead empty personal drive. No backups, because in the name of security, which I quite appreciate the thought of, but I suspect it was actually just because he wanted to be able to use the drive on a Mac instead of a state laptop. He had intentionally put everything on his own drive he brought in, and not one of the ones we make regular backups of. Not even a hint of his work on the backups. I suspected he either brought in the wrong drive, or had it wiped by security, as there was no evidence of any data being formatted over or the drive having been used much, though there wasn't the usual stuff on a new drive either. No recovery software detecting anything useful. The proposal that he had the wrong drive was taken as an insult, and he assured me that he knew what IT was capable of, that we could reconstruct it. I showed him what the recovery software was showing, and he lost any of the previously kind demeanor at this point. He began describing what he knew we could do, and it was apparent that he expected me to law and order the shit. A request Eve heard quite a few times, but made this incident stick out was how he insisted he had seen this in real life, and I just didn't know what I was doing. He did not want me to escalate it to someone higher up, or bring in anyone else. Instead, he kept me in his office for over 2 hours describing things he knew we could do to see if I could magic that up, and talking intermittently about how screwed he was and what this would affect, while being on the verge of tears. Given his insistence on that being the drive, I think he did get it wiped by security, though he wouldn't specify, just said he lost it. You are supposed to get drives wiped at the end of session if you used a personal one for state stuff. I'm not cybersec, and don't know shit about if this was enforced or what they do exactly. I was really just providing emotional support and reassurance at that point. There have been many times in my 2 years of tech support where my job ended up being reassurance and grief counselor about broken tech or lost data. I think that skill is underappreciated by most team managers. As that was one of my last tickets before I got transferred to a different job, it's the one I think back on the most. I was just really bored the entire time he kept me there. I was sympathetic to his plight, but there was nothing to do but either let me talk to others or drop it, compared to how tense I was dealing with the first time someone acted like that. I wonder if all the deal with people's emotions jobs get like that after a year or two. This was a few years ago, so I might be remembering a few specific details wrong. And a note, I was specifically not allowed by contract to invite or escalate or talk about any situation involving a specific representative or legislature's data without explicit permission, unless it was to HR. I could go ask questions and find out generally how the wiping process works, and if it could be undone, and get back in contact myself and whatnot, but as he didn't specify, that's what he did, and I wasn't particularly invested in this issue. I didn't care enough to do so.